Hello. I realise this is not great time if you are on the school run, so I'm not expecting many people to see this right now live. So don't worry, whenever you're seeing this, come back, let me know you're watching the replay. Because the universe has conspired against me today to any which possible way that it could stop me from doing this live. Because the amount of times I've thought, right, I'm going to do the live, okay, I just need to do this, or something's come up, or you know how it goes. Anyway, I said I was going to come live and talk about new moon intentions and that letter that I wrote to myself last year, which I spoke about on the live that I did, I think it was last week, when I was talking about creation collection. Now, I am in my car because I am on the school run too, so this isn't going to go on for ages, but I just wanted to share because I opened my letter today. And so basically what I wanted to share today, a number of things. If you've seen my post on my main page, you'll have seen that I've pulled some cards as well this morning for new moon, because I was really feeling the new moon energy today, and I have completed some incredible tasks today that I'm incredibly proud of, incredibly proud of myself for having done them, because they're things I never thought I would do. I'm not going to go into that too much now because I'll get sidetracked and distracted from the point of this, but I've been really feeling the new moon energy, the new start vibes, the freshness, all of that comes with a new moon. And I think this one is a super new moon because it is so close, the positioning of it, between the positioning of the moon and the earth at the time that it becomes new moon. That's why it's called a super new moon. You can look into more on that if you want to. But also the fact that see, I've already lost my track. I do this, don't I, when I start going. But so new moon, great time to set intentions. And yes, I've pulled 3 cards on my main page, so if you feel like having a card today, then drop a comment on there, let me know which one you're drawn to, and I will drop the meanings later. So following on from what I spoke about before about the creation collection, I'm actually really pumped to do this again now for the new moon, first new moon of the new year, because I feel like it's a really, really special time. And if you're on my email list, you'll have got an email from me about that yesterday as well, because I've been so feeling into this energy, the newness, the freshness, the almost like invigorating energy. And I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, but there's just something new and positive and buzzing about it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. And as I say, in every new moon, it's a perfect time to create intentions. Think about your intentions of what you would like to create over the next lunar cycle. So I do that in every new moon, but also this one being the first one of the year, it's a great time to think about what you want to create for the whole of the year as well. So I've said before, I don't go in for New Year's resolutions. I don't go in for the whole what's my word of the year or anything like that, because I'm very fluid in the way I work, the way I do everything. It's all intuitive, as you know by now. Everything I do, it has to be in the moment when I'm feeling it at the time. Now that might mean that I'm feeling something today and not tomorrow, but it also might mean I'm feeling something today and that energy lasts for the whole month, or it lasts for a week, or it lasts for a few months. It's not rigid, there's no set time. It's all based on how I'm feeling and my intuition. And I hope, if anything, that you've kind of learned that in the last few months about what I've been sharing, is that it's all down to you and how you feel about things. So if you are a projector like me, in fact, actually, you don't have to be a projector. You can have a splenic authority, whether you are a projector or not. But also, like, you can be You can have gut instinct if you're a sacral authority, and you can have an emotional response if you are if you're an emotional authority, you have an emotional response. So that's if your solar plexus is defined, and is what's your is your authority. Anyway, I'm digressing again, but what I wanted to share was, so I opened my letter today. So before, when I spoke about this before, I said that last year for the first new moon of 2022, I wrote a letter to myself for the next new moon of 2022, so the one in February, and I wrote a letter to myself for the first new moon of this year, so for tomorrow. In both of those letters were aimed at looking forward to what I wanted to achieve or receive or create, and even then the space that I was in, the way that I was thinking and feeling and manifesting and everything, I was in a very different energy to where I am now. So it's really quite interesting looking back on my letters to see how different I feel about things now. But also it's really interesting to sit, like I think I shared this last time, but when I read the letter for the February new moon for last year, so the one that was a month, some of it I had done, and some of it, looking back now, I was like, that was so unrealistic. And I'm not saying unrealistic in terms of saying you can't do anything and I'm putting limits on what is achievable or anything like that, because I don't believe that there is limits on what is achievable. I believe that the universe is limitless and you have infinite possibilities and infinite potential. You just have to be able to tap into how you can access that. And I didn't feel that way last year. And so the letter I wrote to myself was very logic based and very methodical. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go too far into that, because what I really wanted to share was the one about the letter that I opened today, because that got me really, really pumped. Now, I'm not going to read the whole letter because it will take me a little while and it's not all relevant. But what I wanted to do was share that having a practice like this, now I'm not saying this won't resonate with everybody, and that's fine if it doesn't, but it didn't really resonate that much with me last year when I did it. I just did it because I had been invited to do it as a good idea. So I thought, okay, well, you know, what have I got to lose? I'll give it a try. That's the energy I went into it with. And I did it. Now, looking back, reading this letter today, knowing what I know now, I'm so excited to do this again. I might do it today, I might do it tomorrow on the actual new moon, but I'm going to do another letter to myself for the next new moon in February, which is the 20th, I think. I'll double check that date. And then I'm going to do another letter to myself for a year, for the first new moon of January next year, which is the 11th of January 24. Which I love that the first new moon of 24 is on the 11th, because the 11th is a great number. Anyway, I'm going to share some of the bits that I put in this letter. Now, bearing in mind, I wrote this letter on the 2nd of January 2022, okay? So on the 2nd of January, I was still doing my 9 to 5. We were in the middle of COVID restrictions and going into strict restrictions at work, and very lack situation for me, a very negative situation, stressful, desperately wanting to be out of it, but not really understanding how or knowing how to do that, but really desiring to be in a place where I can be free from all of that. I think that's probably the best way to put it, where I was at when I wrote this. And if you know me personally, if you've known me for a while, you'll have known a bit more about my situation at that time as well, but I won't go into that there. It's not really that relevant, but I just wanted to kind of share some of this and kind of give that background to that. So on this, so this is part of my letter. I won't read all of it, as I said, but so it's first new moon of 2023, and I'm so happy and proud of everything I achieved in 2022. I left my day job and I'm now working completely for myself, and this allows me the flexibility to choose when and how much I work, and it allows me to provide an income for our family while following my soul and intuition. That I have done. That seemed like so far away from being a possibility on the 2nd of January last year, but I did that within 6 months of writing this letter. I've also wrote about qualifying in modalities. One of those was quantum holographic echo healing, which I did. I don't know whether that was February. It was early last year, so January, February-ish time. I can't remember the exact date. But even then, although that was something that I had written in my 1 month letter, and this is something I wrote on my 12-month letter because I wanted that to be something I achieved. And then, since then, my mindset on that has completely changed, because I don't follow one modality. Everything I've learned is all encompassed in what I teach, what I do, how I act, how I help people. Also, oh, that's it. Yeah, so there were some material things, there's some income goals and stuff, which again, I'm not aligned to doing. I haven't achieved those things, but I'm not actually aligned to them anymore. My priorities changed, and so the fact that I haven't achieved those actually doesn't actually bother me at all, because it's not something that I actually particularly want right now. And then I've got in there as well about my the people that I went through the diploma with when I got my accreditations, having met up with them a few times, feeling like they're really my soul sisters, and I found my place in the puzzle. Now, again, I've met up with some of those people, some of those girls, a few times since writing this letter. So again, that's something else that's kind of come from this. Now, I didn't want to dive too deep into my letter, but I just wanted to share kind of is kind of the mentality of you desire, you're wishing on something to happen. I always think like wishing is the wrong word, dreaming, that's the word I wanted to say. You're dreaming about it. So when you dream, you can, in your dream, you see something, it feels so real to you. And when you dream and allow yourself to get caught up in that dream, you see all of this stuff that really, really excites you. So if you're just going to decide to write a letter to yourself, I invite you to get caught up in that dream. Just dream about what life is going to be like in a year, and dream about how you're feeling, and dream about who's around you and what that means and all the rest of it. And then just put that down on paper, put it in an envelope and leave it till next year, and just forget about it, and then come back to it in a year's time and see how much has changed. Because some of that shows me how far I've grown since I wrote that letter, because some of those things are completely not aligned to me anymore. And some of that shows me how close I was to being where I am now, and I just had no idea how close it was. So it's always there, it's so close. But if you have it in your mind, if you can dream it, if you can feel into it, then it becomes closer and closer and closer, and it's going to be closer to being your reality. I hope that makes sense and I didn't ramble for too long. I am going to have to go in a minute because I've just realised the time. But just one final thing I wanted to say was, when you're setting these intentions, doing it at the new moon is just the best thing to do. The power of the moon never fails to surprise me, because it really, really is powerful. And I've really felt into that the last few weeks. Since the last full moon, I set some intentions of things that I wanted to release, and I have definitely been tested since then to check that I'm really serious about releasing. And And that's the way the universe works, is checking in to see, are you serious about this? Do you really want this? Are you going to show up for yourself? Are you going to do it? So if you set intentions and then find that something's coming up and it's like, well, this isn't what I was asking for, it's probably there to test and see if you really do want what you're asking for, or if you're prepared to go all in on yourself, if you're prepared to take a bet on yourself and say, yes, I do. Yes, test me, push me to my limits, because I'm holding fast on this boundary. This is my boundary. This is what I want, and I'm not going to stop until this is what I have. Now, I also put in my post earlier on and in the email that I sent out yesterday about your intentions don't have to be physical things that you want to create in your life. So you don't have to say it's like a sum of money or a car or a holiday or something like that. Like, those things are wonderful, but it doesn't have to be that. It can just be a feeling or how you want yourself to be. If you feel like, I need to show a bit more compassion to myself, or if you want to improve your relationships and have some loving, nurturing relationships around you, that's absolutely fine, and that can be something. It doesn't have to be something physical you can hold. It can be something that is just there. It's just part of you, or something you want to feel. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I do have to go and get my child. Just a final word: if you are feeling called to the New Moon Festival, which starts tomorrow, Amplify, it is only £11 for each one of the new moons. So you can pay that £11 each month, or it's £99 if you pay in full, so you save money on that across the year. So I'll be doing like a sacred ceremony with light language and using the power of the moon, and I'll go into more detail about what I actually did and how I harnessed the power of the moon for my full moon releasing. And yes, so it's going to be, I just totally lost it as I was saying that, but so yeah, 12 new moons throughout this year, so there'll be one ceremony each month for each new moon. And yeah, I cannot wait to start tomorrow. So I would love it if you can be there. Please do message me or comment on here if you'd like the link and the details. I think that's it. I think there was probably something else I was supposed to say, but I've forgotten now. So it can't have been that important, and if it is, I'll come back in and post it later. Anyway, have a lovely rest of your Friday, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and I hope to see you tomorrow at Amplify. Bye.